Well, I guess. Welcome back. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the first podcast. I seem like a lot of people enjoyed it, so that's cool. I didn't know, yeah, I'll probably get better at it, or, I just wasn't too sure of how it would turn out, and I just kind of had to do one and get it out there and see how it did. But yeah, it seems like people are liking it, and I'll do like one or two extra clips from the podcast on the channel weekly, like Transformers news and like VHS reviews, stuff like that. I'll post separately as well, because yeah, I like to have some of that content on there, and it gets the podcast out there for more people to listen to, or yeah, more people interested in what we're doing or what I'm doing all myself. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing great and welcome. Let's have a good time. Let's not get too offended. Let's just relax. And yeah, that's what this is about. So thrift store hunting and pickups. So I've been doing, I do a lot of thrift store hunting, obviously for games, and yeah, I've been picking up some toys lately. I've watched a few toy channels do it, so I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I haven't filmed it or anything. It's so busy in this thrift store I go to, the Valley Village here. It's like so many people are in there. It's actually pretty tough, but it's fun. I'm going in there and collecting Ninja Turtles stuff, and Transformers stuff, a few other little things here and there. So if I find any old school Ninja Turtles stuff, I'll jump on it. If I find any old school, like Transformers or new types of Transformers, basically any type of Transformer. I've even picked up some of those stupid like ones for like toddlers, but I'm like, oh, I'll just grab it for now. Maybe I'll give these to some kids I know or something in the future. My mom knows a lot of kids, so she give them to her to give to some more kids. And yeah, just stuff like that, Ninja Turtles. And I like doing it. I like being in the thrift store. It's fun. I like game hunting. It's just, once I know I find a lot of good stuff, but sometimes that's why I go a lot, and people know me pretty well, so they hold things for me and stuff like that. Otherwise, I'd just be out there like everyone else. But once you establish yourself as a pretty big collector, people they're like, oh, well, no, she'll buy it, so we'll put it aside for her. And everyone at the store knows you. Like this one lady, she's a nice lady, nothing against her, but she's just like, you kind of wonders, like, she's like, what the hell does this trans person do? Like, she either thinks I'm like some prostitute or something, but I'm in there every day looking for stuff, buying stuff, right? But hey, that's what I like to do. And it's cheap. A couple bucks here and there for a figure. It's even cheaper than the games usually. So yeah, just look around in there and try to find some cool new toys and cool new collectibles. It's just fun. And yeah, that's where I'm getting at. I'd like to show some of those. So maybe I'll do some videos on YouTube. Maybe they'll show like a quick shot of like in there searching, and then like I could do like what I bring home and show off some of the stuff separately, like the turtles I've gotten, the Transformers and stuff like that. So that would be cool. And yeah, just go from there. The thrift store is awesome. Like I said, I go there so much that everyone knows me. Everyone's like, hey, and like, oh, check this out, look at this. It's like, oh my goodness. And then some people think like they hate on you. They're like, what is she doing? Like, where's she get all her money? Like, she's probably a prostitute. But I think it's fun. And yeah, I found some good game stuff lately. I want to do something about video game collecting and hoarding soon. Electronic hoarding. I just, yeah, want to do a video on that as well. I've tried to break down something about what I've been picking up lately. Like, definitely all my hardware pickups, my accessories pickups, not just video games, but maybe I'll do like another video on some of the accessory picking up, as I'd like to get some more video game stuff on the channel as well. It's just been up and down, and the Transformer stuff has really taken off, and a lot of people are coming here for it. So, and I love it. Transformers is fun. I've always been into it, so it's really, really easy for me to just gush over and collect and talk about and get people interested. So, got to keep that flowing. But like I said, I would like to go into some stuff I've gotten, mostly hardware stuff, some box stuff for the Wii, couple handheld systems, of course, controller 3, stuff like that, and share that off and just go into maybe, some stuff about hoarding and collecting, what's the difference, or, what I mean, just like get into that, because, yeah, we're approaching that level of, now you have a lot of stuff, Danny, what are you going to do with it? Well, I'd like to set it all up so I have it all set up nicely, and the stuff I want to open, and yeah, just kind of have more of a cool collector's area. The place I'm in, though, like, I won't be here forever, I don't think, of course, but place I'm into is a little small for me. Like the last place I was living in with my sister was quite large, so I had an extra room plus that huge living room. And here, like, it's a great place and stuff, but it's just a little smaller than I would like, you know, a little bit more space for my collection. And then I can like hone it down, and if I want to get rid of some things down the road, which I probably won't, but you know, like I said, getting rid of some of the little figures to give to some people in need or something, yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, collecting, it's awesome. Collecting many different things is awesome, you know, to have the passion to collect. And yeah, you know, it's good when you use most of your stuff or like just, you know, appreciate what you have. But yeah, the Value Village, I'd like to film a little bit in there if I can. That'd be super cool. And then share some of the thrift store pickups, you know, the turtles, the figures, mostly figures on this stuff. This won't be anything to do with gaming. I'd like to keep this separate, just like, you know, thrift store toy hunting, bring up some figures, show some stuff off. And yeah, that'd be really cool. So yeah, watch out for some of that new content. And yeah, thanks for being here. We have a lot to go over, some Transformers news. And yeah, probably another VHS and memories, of course, and yeah, a few other topics. I got some Q&As to bring up, so stick around for that. And yeah, I'm a little off. Sorry if I seem a little off or different. I just coming off the last little bit of that medication I've been on, that antidepressant. So today was the first day that I didn't take any. I weaned off the drug so slowly, and today was the first day I didn't have to take anymore, so I'm a little out of it. And I had to finish other stuff this week, I had to work and a whole bunch of other things, so it's like all over the place. So but I want to get this out. Hopefully this will be posted Saturday and on the Saturday on Anchor. So yeah, you can find the podcast now on anchor.com, and the links will be down in the description. But yeah, maybe I'll get the podcast up on Anchor first and then get the video posted on YouTube. So thank you for supporting, and yeah, awesome feedback. Leave lots of comments, get right in there. Thank you so much. You know, it's really awesome. You guys are fantastic. Thank you for supporting me, and yeah, so much more to talk about. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just a little off, a little broken, a little that stuff's hard to come off of, but hopefully now since my anxiety is like really suppressed still, I'll be able to get my energy back and really work on some things, you know. Like I'll probably reflect on this time and look back and realize like, whoa, you did get a lot done when you were I'm feeling pretty bad still, like ever since it's been like a year now, like ever since I got on that medication. It never settled with me right, but I had to be on it for some time just because I was becoming so obsessive compulsive and like, yeah, obsessing, and my anxiety was out of control. So, my anxiety's like, really suppressed right now. They weed me off the medication. So hopefully I'll be able to be back to my old self, and yeah, I'll realize how much I got done, and I could just kill more. Like, of course, keep the podcast going, multiple videos, like I said, bringing back some gaming stuff, and keep with the Transformers stuff. Other content from other sites that I'm on, social medias, keeping all that going. And then, yeah, seeing what else. I want to get some merch, some new logos made, and everything's in the works. It's just a little tough right now, but I'm struggling. I struggle, but I'm trying to do my best, because if I didn't do this stuff, I wouldn't feel good. Like, I feel so happy when I create or make content or anything. It's like, I'm not forcing myself to do it. I'm just trying to do it, and it takes up time and gets me not thinking about how bad I feel from that stuff. I can't believe that medication can make you feel so low, so like sedated, that's not me. I just got to know how to control my psychotic behavior, and then things will be better. But yeah, a little bit of a ramble. We'll get into where I'm at with gaming and collecting next, so stick around for that. And yeah, thanks for listening. All right, I thought it'd be cool to talk about where I'm at with gaming and collecting. Yeah, I'd like to bring more gaming to the channel. Lately I kind of reflected on a lot. I kind of reflected on I kind of got into the chasing the new games that come out, the new content. And it was fun when the Switch first came out, and I can't say I didn't have fun, because like there was really good games like Breath of the Wild, Odyssey, Splatoon 2 I even had some fun with, a whole bunch of stuff like that, so that was really cool. But then it kind of died down, and they've just been putting out like ports and just kind of lower grade games. There's not a lot from the actual Nintendo line. Like, where's the Star Foxes? Where's the anything. I know we got some stuff coming out, Pokemon and new Zelda remake, but it still is a remake, even though it was on Game Boy, so it's gonna be so much better on Switch. But yeah, so many cool things came out at the beginning, and then yeah, it's just same with PS4. I chased a lot of newer stuff, and I didn't even put it on the channel. Like I played a bit of it, but I just like got so far behind on things, and I was like, I don't know. And I have slowed down on that. I did pick up Assassin's Creed because I really like Assassin's Creed 3, but well, I never got to play it, but I like the first two, so I thought I'd probably like the third one. So I yeah, and I'm really enjoying it now, and yeah, that's kind of cool. But a few other games here and there. I still like to get some of the anime and weeby weird games that come out, but they're a little more abstract, and they're a little like you could burn through them. You can actually play them, so lots of stuff like that. So Senran Kagura, some of the weird RPGs, so even if I can't beat them all right now or anything, of course, it's still fun to pick them up and try them out and see what they're about. But yeah, so I'm kind of taking a halt on some of the newer stuff. I'll be a bit more picky with that in the future. I mean, that new Call of Duty kind of looks pretty good, actually. I'm not a huge Call of Duty person or anything, but the new Call of Duty, the campaign looks fun. Like, if the campaign's fun with friends, that'd be cool. I'd like to get more flippers on that. And there's a few other things, of course. Like, of course, I want to get Pokemon, and I'll see what it's about. I didn't really like Sun or Moon that much, so... But the new one, like, official one you can play on your television and stuff, that's pretty cool. So I want to get that. But yeah, mostly my free time, though, but playing older stuff, Played Turtles in Time, Hyperstone Heist, older stuff like that. I played some Sonic a little while ago. I was playing some stuff on my GameCube, some 1080, snowboarding games, a few racing games, and I want to play that Tony Hawk 4 that I picked up. I posted that on Instagram. So yeah, I'd like to pick that up. My phone's going off. I've been playing a lot of that, and that's a lot of fun. Like, for some reason lately, I've been really enjoying going back and playing the older stuff. I don't know. I think, like, even back in the day when PS3 and all that stuff was out, I remember we were just playing, like, Super Mario and Donkey Kong or stuff like that in my room. It was like we weren't even, like, worried about the new stuff. I mean, San Andreas took over when that came out, but... Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of got back to my older habits, playing older stuff, old Mario, older stuff like that. It's just fun. And the collecting, too. Like, I love collecting games and seeing them. And I like having weird things that no one would want anymore, Because, like, if they're not going to play it, I'm not going to play it. I might as well just have it, you know what I mean? Some junk from Wii or whatever. I just like collecting weird, junky games. I don't know why, I just do. It's fun. It'd be awesome to play some of those junky games and put them in a video. Some of those pet games on Wii and all that. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, like I picked up more 64 stuff. I know 64 and PlayStation 1 now you're starting to see that become more collectible. And yeah, I've been on 64 and PlayStation stuff a lot. So, I grew up in that era. That was like the prime when I was a kid. So, I am picking up more of that, and I like to collect more of the older stuff. I still like collecting NES. I like NES. I know a lot of debate now its graphics aren't good enough, but the first Mario, you can't beat that, and all that stuff. Like Duck Hunt, still fun. If you have the right guns and the TV, you get those HD guns now to play. But yeah, it's just something about the older games that are a lot of fun. Oh, I'm dropping my phone. And collecting the older stuff. And 5 years ago in my area, yeah, you could get a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff popping up all the time. Like, so much good stuff you couldn't buy it all, right? Sirens. But so much good stuff you couldn't even buy it all. So now I go to the pawn shops. Valve Village I get lucky with, but it's more like lucky with like GameCube, Xbox stuff, accessories. The pawn shops haven't had a lot. I haven't seen a lot of 64 stuff anymore. I haven't seen like any Super Nintendo stuff in a while. I've barely seen NES stuff, so it's a little bit more slim pickings. You have to kind of have to just go a lot. But yeah, I have seen it slow down in the last like 5 years for shizzle my pistol. Like, you just can't go find like stuff all the time. But I am seeing more GameCube stuff. Like, I used to never see what was it, Smash Bros on GameCube, and I see it like all the time, and I used to never see some of those games on GameCube. See quite a bit more Sunshines out there, stuff like that from GameCube, but never the hardware. Like I never find those orange controllers that I want, or stuff like that, I usually just see the purple or the gray GameCube consoles. I don't ever see like tons of GameCubes out there, but I think 2 good GameCubes, the one where I could put that adapter on the back to play it HD, so that's really sick. But yeah, it's kind of where I'm at with gaming, collecting, kind of playing more older stuff again, and I'm kind of trying to collect more older stuff again. Like, I have noticed, and I've heard a lot of different channels saying this, multiple different types of channels saying this, that, it used to be like the huge retro scene on YouTube, which is still there, but now it's becoming like definitely like a lot more Switch channels, a lot more Switch based, because the views and all that, and yeah, I mean, I've done it too. Like, I'd like, oh, I'll get it on Switch, it might do a little better, and yeah, that's cool, you think, but I know when it's only Switch stuff and you're hyping stuff up, I could see like that isn't really that good. That kind of blows, but yeah, maybe I'll just, I want to do what I want to do and just maybe get some older stuff back on the channel, play some Turtles in Time, play some stuff like that, because yeah, that's where my heart is. I really love the old stuff more. I mean, there is good games that are coming out that I've been looking forward to, but just for when I'm alone or just playing, just for fun, I usually put in an older game just because I don't know, just know it, and yeah, it's just more easy. It's cool that they have 25,000 options now in the new Assassin's Creeds. I bet people love that, all that stuff or whatever, but for me, it is overwhelming. Like, I just don't want 30,000 different skill trees and banana trees, and it's just... Sometimes I'm like overwhelmed, so I just don't have the time for it. I'm like, what happened to pressing 2 buttons? 2 skills, 2 weapons. But no, I'm great. Gaming has come a long way. It's just we need some more, classics. We need some more classic games in the new age. I'm stoked on that new, what is it? Oh yeah, I'm really stoked on that new Battletoads game. I like how it has that new look, but it still looks like classic gameplay. And I heard they might have a few different options on it to play, like, to see if you can play it on the hard difficulty or maybe an easier mode so you can actually get through the game and get a feel for the game and see the rest of the game like we never got to see when we were kids, because no one could get past the turbo tunnels. No one could get past much in those games, but they looked like cool. It's obviously a Ninja Turtles ripoff, but hey, it was cool. Big frogs, why not? And yeah, that's where I'm at. Just kind of honing the collection, picking up more stuff that I really need. And yeah, I'm still focused heavily on GameCube, now 64, PS1. Oh, I love original Xbox, OG Xbox. I love collecting for that, and you can still find some of that pretty cheap. And yeah, I got that HD thing for it, so it looks fantastic. And yeah, stuff like that. Keep honing it, and probably stay away from some of the newer stuff once in a while, and just kind of go for some of the older stuff that I want. And yeah, hopefully when my health is better, I'll get to go to some more gaming conventions and stuff. That'd be really sick. I'd love to get back out there. That's why I like that OnlyFans thing, I'm not using the OnlyFans. Like, if you subscribe to my OnlyFans, I could put the link down in the description. You have to be 18 plus. It is a little risque, but that's why I like the OnlyFans thing, because I'm strictly using that money for like a couple surgeries that I wouldn't mind having, and probably towards a new vehicle so I could travel, like, even in my area, a lot easier to get to some cons and do some fun stuff. At least go to Vancouver a lot more. I'd love to make, a few trips to Vancouver a year, like once I have my health back, and go to some of the, maybe out to Victoria to that toy fair and all that stuff, maybe meet some more cool nerdy people, because where like I'm at now, it's I love where I am. I feel the best on these streets, but everyone here is a douchebag, and probably including me. But it's just, yeah, you don't meet a lot of nerdy people, and if you do, some of them are pretentious and stuck up, and they're like, oh, I'm like this. It's like, whatever happened to people just wanted to play some games, bro, collect some stuff and be chill? Yeah, and it's also when you're 30 years old and doing this, like myself. Like most 30-year-old people have kids and like, real life, and I'm like, hey man, you want to play some Turtles in Time, bro? What are you doing? Like in basketball, like what have you been up to? Just still playing Nintendo or whatever. I can't remember what they say right now, but Coop, Reamer, what have you been doing? Just hanging out, playing Nintendo or whatever. It's so funny. Yeah, it's Coop, Reamer. Basketball's a great movie. I haven't seen that in a while, but I'll have to do a VHS chat about that. But oh, that's so funny. Coop, Reamer. But it's true, to 30 years old and you're collecting stuff. You don't really fit in with the people here because it's a party. If you don't wakeboard or like camping or like hiking and all this stuff, you're not really going to fit in here. It's all about that. Everyone wants to be an outdoors person. Everyone wants to be like, think they're balling in their whip in their car, thinking they're so dope. And I like that part of it, but I just don't like how, like, there's not a lot of like nerd culture here. We barely have any nerd culture. Like even the anime clubs are pretty, nose up in the air. It's hard to get into. Some of them are welcoming, but we don't have like a comic book shop here. Like they got a comic book shop, a couple of like multiple ones. They even have like a Transformers store in Vancouver. Like think how good the content would be if I could go down there, drive down there and like shoot content like a couple times a year, like multiple times. I could go down multiple times in the summer, get a whole bunch of content. There's so many retro gaming stores I could film there and stuff. So that's what I want to do. That's where I'm at with the gaming. I want to get more hands on. I want to be in the mix. I want to be collecting. I want to be, going to Vancouver more, getting a little bit different vibe, meeting some more cool nerdy people, maybe bringing some nerdy cool people out here to, do gaming stuff and do Transformer stuff, other videos, like a little back and forth, meet more people, try to meet people here and people from work and people from this and that. But like I said, it's hard to meet people that vibe with me because I'm so out there, I'm into all this weird stuff, plus I'm doing YouTube, plus I'm collecting that, and I'm just a character. People just think I'm insane, and I know I am a little insane, but this is the point where it's like it's just an age thing too, being 30, like everyone that's like around my age is just, so tied into things. And, I like hanging out with guys a lot more too. But then like being female, like looking female, it's like, either someone likes each other and you don't like them and it ruins a relationship, or someone gets a girlfriend or a boyfriend and that girlfriend doesn't want their friend hanging out with you anymore. They're like, she wants you. It's just like, yeah, I want them to work for me. I want them to help me make content. I want them to help me manage everything. But no, it's just tough. People are weird. It's like, it's that weird female-male dynamic. Like, can male and females just be friends? I don't know, but I do like being around the homies. Like, I like being creative. I like talking about ideas. I don't really get that from women, but so it's just hard to make friends when you're trans 30 and a crazy collector. But yeah, we'll move on to some podcast questions. Thanks for listening to the ramble, and yeah, thanks for being here. Let's get into some podcast questions. All right, Pumpkin Glow, thank you for asking. Check out her channel, and thank you for asking question. She asks, are you doing or did you do Transformers toy photography outside of reviews, like taking one out into nature or places and posing them there? I'm really into that kind of stuff because I'm a dork. Guess it's like the adult version of playing with toys in a garden as a kid for me. Anyways, love to see your TF photos if you did do, or maybe in the future. Take care. Well, I've done very little shots of them actually out in nature. I have some on my Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Link will be down below. OMG, Danni Dolphin. And yeah, on Instagram I post like lots of my collectibles and yeah, pictures of my Transformers. Not outside really. I wish I had time to do that. I think about doing it a lot. And yeah, it'd be nice. Like that's how I need to meet someone. Like, yeah, I'm a dork too. Like, I want to meet someone where they're like, you know what I want to do, honey? Is go take pictures of Transformers, have a coffee and stuff. And yeah, how romantic. But I just don't really have time for it. I'm not as big into photography. If I was more into photography and stuff, I probably would do it. I'd take pictures of them after I unbox them in my house. That's as much as I can do, because it's hard for me to get the time to do figures and take them out there. I'm usually working, or I'm usually doing all this other stuff at home. So yeah, it's just one of those things. And if one of those things too, it's like kind of intimidating. I do a lot, but it's kind of intimidating to take pictures of them in a park when you're alone. Like, if I had some chums to go with that were into this stuff, but there's not a lot of people I know that are into this stuff. I'm not like, yo, bro, you want to go take pictures of Transformers in the park? I wish that was my life, but but yeah, I'd like to get more into it in the future. You might see more of it. I have done it a few times, but definitely check out my Instagram. If you have Instagram, I'll follow you back and so forth. I always like to follow everyone that I talk to back. So yeah. But yeah, that's really cool. Check out her channel. Thank you for asking. And yeah, I hope that was a good enough answer. I'd like to do it more in the future with a loved one. But yeah, I'm probably just reaching for the stars. All right, next question. All right, Steve Green asks, Kevin Smith Films podcast. Do you like any of his content? Like yourself, he is very passionate about what he likes. Nice. Yeah, no, Kevin Smith, I mean, I'm so glad he lived through that heart attack, and how skinny he's gotten. Like, it just, like, trips me out. Like, and I feel good for the guy. Like, I'm glad he got that surgery, and he's okay, and he's making content. And yeah, I do watch some of his YouTube channel style talking podcast, like, videos. I do like those. I like when he breaks down stuff. And yeah, the older movies, I really like Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob back in the day. Mallrats I wasn't as into, but I do remember it. And of course, Clerks and all that. So yeah, the movies were popping back in the day. Yeah, he's an amazing creator. I'm not a huge fan of him, but I do think, like, wow, some of the stuff he's done, some of the jokes and everything he's invented, and he's a writer, he's passionate, he acts, it's fantastic, comedian, book writer, his podcast, he directs, he produces, he does it all. He's the man. He's like a type of man you want to be like. But I'm so glad he got his health back together, and hopefully he stays on that road, because it would be horrible to lose him. He's pretty young. He's like 48 now, it says. So yeah, 48 years old. So, you know what I mean? He's getting up there. You gotta take care of yourself as you get older. And yeah, but yeah, no, I like Kevin Smith. He always made me laugh. His movies aren't the movies I would go back and watch all the time or anything, or even probably bring up on a VHS and memory special, because it's just not totally my thing. But I do respect his passion. I do respect his skills. I do respect what he does. So yeah, thanks for asking. Hope that helps you out, and thank you for contributing to the channel. So thank you so much with your question. So yeah, let's get on to another one. Alright, Grubgun asks, Grubgun does have a YouTube channel. Go check his channel out, go check his Twitter out, and go check out his Twitch. He's going to be streaming some Blair Witch soon, so I'll put that up on my Twitter as well when that happens. But yeah, okay, Grubgun asks, I was going to ask, is it difficult being trans and living in a small town? While I'm not trans, I'm more of a tom girl at this point. I dress very girly, and I'm planning on moving to a rural area, and I'm curious what to expect. Thanks again for being here for the Thanks again for being here for the people like me. You're a role model. That's very sweet, but I don't think I'm much of a role model. I'm just trying to put myself out there to inspire others, but I don't know. Sounds cheesy, but whatever. That's why I built this channel, at the end of the day, just be yourself. But yeah, so are you, I can't remember, Grubgun, are you in America? I gotta check that on Facebook quickly. Oh no, that's right, you're in Vancouver. I forgot about that. I was just making sure, yeah. Because yeah, it's kind of different in America. I don't know how it is in America. It's different when you're trans in America. There's like actually like real hate for trans people and stuff still, so that's kind of scary. But I do know, yeah, Kelowna is a small town. It's growing all the time, but you know what? People here are pretty good. I'd say most of them. It's Canadian. Like, I find most people in Canada, like, even if they don't agree, they just kind of have to accept it. So they might just give you a grumpy look, and it's always like the most different people hating. It's so weird. Sometimes I see, like, I'll be at a store and I see all these like jockey, like, 6 foot something, like baseball team or something. I don't know what team they are, but I don't think those are the people that hate me. And those people, they don't even usually care about me. And like, since they're so tall, I look small and just more feminine. I don't know. It's just, they don't, those type of people I know that you think you're like, oh, I'm gonna get bullied by these guys and stuff. It's like, I find like a lot of the men don't care. Like, some 80-year-old man might care because he's stuck in the past, but you know, I find like all the younger people, all the young people are very accepting right off the bat. And that's cool. And then, you know, you get some grumpies here and there. I find the most people that hate me are like 57-year-old, 60-year-old grandmas. Like, this one woman was yelling at me at the grocery store. And like, I just think they just see me shopping all the time. And there's one old lady at the Value Village who wants to hate on me because I'm in there every day shopping. And like, they think I'm living this glamorous lifestyle or something. It's like, no, dog, I'm just me and I just like shopping. You know, I pay for my stuff, I, you know, work, and yeah, I just love collecting, and, you know, but it's just weird that that group of people would hate on you. You just have to see how it is. I mean, it's just different for everyone, I think. You know, I could be more passable if I talked better, if I maybe dressed a certain way and, you know, did my makeup less, or did it a different way where, like, I just fit in with, like, a regular people. But, you know, just that's not fun for me. I didn't want to be the way I want to be. And yeah, you know what? It doesn't matter. Like, just be yourself, be safe. Don't go downtown somewhere crazy at night, you know, as long as you're safe and aware. And yeah, I find a lot of people are accepting and cool. It's like the most random people too. You'll think these people are going to hate and they don't. And then these other people hate and you're like, what? It's just a weird thing. But yeah, I guess the most people that hate on me are just like, yeah, like 60-year-old women. Like, they're all frumpy and they're hating on me. It's like, yeah, I think I'm all special. It's like, no, I'm not that special. I don't have the best looks. I don't have the best body. I don't have the best voice. I don't have the best job. I'm just doing my thing, you know. But I guess it's just I'm always look happy, you know. Ever since I transitioned, I've really always looked happy, more happy, you know. Always like kind of that little smile on my face. And before I was like a grumpy male everywhere I went, but now I'm just like lolly lolly la. I'm buying and shopping and having so much fun. No wonder people hate me. And yeah, it's just one of those things you'll know if you really transition, or, you know, get help. The therapist will help you out a bit, and yeah, you just got to be aware. I find like big cities too. I go to Vancouver. I feel like I get judged more there because there's different cultures, different people. You know, all in Kelowna, it's mostly a lot of white people, a lot of stuff like that. So it's just like you're around just white people, so they kind of just whatever. And yeah, thank you for commenting and always sharing your thoughts. You're awesome. I mean, I try in some ways to be a role model in a way. Like, I don't really think of myself that way, but I just want to be there, put myself out there. And yeah, you know, it's tough for people these days. I know, with all of like the you know, all those other genders that are out. Like, do I think they should teach 32 genders in school? No, I'm not a fan of that. But do I think they should teach some stuff? Yeah, and questioning, if I had help like that when I was a kid, you know, I would have been able to transition much earlier and actually found out what's wrong with me, you know? At least go into some of that about, do you feel the other gender? But yeah, do you need to bring in like all these animal genders and blah blah blah? Probably not. But I mean, some awareness is good. Like, you know, some early awareness does help, and it would have saved my life. And yeah, it probably would have turned out a lot like healthier. But you know, there wasn't in schools when I was a kid, and yeah, there's no awareness for anything. But yeah, it's just this town. You should be good. Just look into the town, look into where you're going, and be safe. And yeah, just you'll be a role model too. You already are. You know, you just gotta, you know, put yourself out there if that's what you want to do. It's a tough road. Like, it's not easy being trans in any sense, but it's easier for me to be trans than to live the life I used to live, because the way I used to live, I couldn't connect with people on any level except hatred. So it's tough, you know, once you change and you're more positive. And you know, it's harder being trans at times, but it's easier in a way. For me, it's easier to be myself than, you know, force myself not to be something I'm not. So it's easier for me to be in this form. It's just outsiders looking in don't agree, and who cares what someone else is living like. When I go shopping and I see panda people in the, vegetable aisle. Do I care? No. Get your koala beans or get your bamboo and get out of here. No. Get your bamboo and move on. Like, I don't judge. Like, why does it matter if you're not hurting anyone? Then what's it matter how someone's living? Why does it affect you? Get over yourself, dog. Like, that's what makes me mad the most. It's like, you're judging me. Like, look at you. You're an old woman. You're an old bat, and like, you're just like terrible. It's like you're judging people and you're just an old woman who never made anything of herself. Like, get over yourself, dog. It's not my fault that this is the takeover. No, I'm joking, but yeah, sorry to ramble on that one. Grub Gun, but check out their channel and their Twitter and give them a follow. So support them as well. And yeah, maybe one more question before we go, and then we'll move into some Transformers talk. All right, question from Terry the 2D Maniac. He's been a huge supporter of the channel. He's been here when I had just a few hundred subscribers. He's always had awesome input, and yeah, great friendship with him, having on Facebook and stuff like that. So thank you. Check out his channel, and he's got a few questions here, so let's get into them. What piece of music you listened to in your teens or childhood that was a turning point or a big inspiration to you in life? Well, it's pretty simple. It's, of course, the Slim Shady LP that came out in 1999. That album changed my life. Of course, the Marshall Mathers album that followed up. Those two albums, like, I could go off for hours on it, but I won't right now. But yeah, those two albums in particular, a huge turning point in my life. I just liked how Eminem at the beginning, he was just saying whatever he liked. He was a renegade. He used all his weaknesses he used all his weaknesses against people. He's used his weaknesses as strengths and flipped it on people. And yeah, I just thought he was an awesome artist. I loved his passion, to be someone that when you're in the right body and you're just can be passionate and creative, like, this is how far it could go, and yeah, it was just amazing to see how much work M puts into his stuff. And I always looked up to him. I still look up to him. I always thought he was pretty handsome. I still love him. He looks better with age even. I'm like, damn, son, I like the beard. But yeah, I love Shady. Those albums, I could go off on every song for every reason, but I just don't have time right now. But those two first albums, I loved how he was with, kids flipped when they knew I was produced by Dre. It's like, yeah, we did. I was one of those kids. We just got the Chronic 2001, Snoop, Dre uniting. It was like a blast. Just signed Eminem. Dre's like, just on that track. Still Dre's like, just signed Eminem. Just signed Eminem. It's like, yeah, you did. And it was the beginning of an era. Oh, it was the best musical era I've ever had. It was amazing. When lyricists mattered, or when people cared about lyricists, and it wasn't just all mumbo jumbo dumb flow. You need those ears that are jumbo like Dumbo to hear that mumbo flow. But yeah, it's just, it just mattered back then. And Shady's still doing some stuff now, and yeah, I love him. I don't care how old he gets, or I'll always listen to him. I'll always love his classic stuff. I love Eminem for life. But yeah, those two albums changed my life. That was a life changer. Terry also asked, what game that you finished or played in your teens that left the biggest mark on you as a person? Well, I don't know. There's a lot of different things. I played a lot of different things, but I remember, back when I was like, 16, 17, grade, I'm trying to think, grade 11, grade 10, grade 12, that era, we played so much Mario. We had that Super Mario All-Stars. Like, I never beat 3. I still haven't ever beat 3. That last world eats me up. I just haven't tried in a long time. But yeah, 3 was never like my favorite anyway. So I know a lot of people like 3, but I didn't ever beat 2, and I don't really like 2 that much. But I love number 1. I love the lost levels that are added on. That was Super Mario 2 in Japan on Super Mario All-Stars. We played that. We had so much fun playing that. We had so many inside jokes, and yeah, we had such a good time playing that with me and my homies. And yeah, it was just like the last time that I remember playing with a whole bunch of homies and people in the room, getting so excited over Mario, screaming out, everyone was passing around the controller, and just some of those last of the young, goofy days when you're just young and a little older, but still young enough just to goof around and have so much fun. And we played it like all the time, like every other weekend. And in the later years, we got into the Sonic collection and played that a lot, and that was a lot of fun. San Andreas actually took up a lot of that time as well, and was pretty crucially impacting on me and my homies at the time because we loved it. We thought we were from Grove Street. And yeah, but also Donkey Kong Country, like I've always said, beating that game when I was a kid or like early teens was fantastic. I loved it. I had so much fun with that game. Of course, GoldenEye, Super Nintendo. GoldenEye on N64. Shadows of the Empire as a teenager. Shadows of the Empire had a huge effect on me. Me and my one homie would play that like to the end of time. We just wanted to see Boba Fett and stuff at that one point. The levels were so long, and yeah, it was cool though. He finally beat it. We played it together, but he basically played it. But just seeing it being played was just impacting, and it was cool because it was like some of the first 3D console games. And yeah, it was Star Wars when Star Wars was still good, and Star Wars was hype, and yeah, it was Boba Fett when people still thought Boba Fett was cool. I like Boba Fett, but yeah, it was all those games I'd say that I just mentioned. I might be missing a few things here and there, but those are earlier or later years. But those teen years, those forming years, definitely the Sonic, the Mario, the San Andreas, the GoldenEyes, the Star Wars Empires, the Star Wars games, everything like that. So those games were a huge impact on my life. Last question from Terry is, what's your favorite color? As in the one you think you can never have enough of. It's different. For dressing, I like black. I do like black. I know black isn't a color or something, but it's no light. It's empty space. But yeah, no. But I guess pink. I don't know. I know it's kind of cliche or whatever, but I was into neon pink before it was cool. I was like I was the only boy. Basically, I was the only boy at my school when I was a teen wearing pink laces. Like, started grade 9. They said there wasn't any signs. But yeah, I was in tight women's pants and pink laces. I was a skater kid, right? Like I've said, I skateboarded, so I always thought it was punk fashion and all this blah, blah, blah. Just an excuse, right? But yeah, I'd say hot pink, neon pink. I do love it. I really do. I wouldn't really want like tons of things in my room, but I like the little like accent lights of neon pink. And yeah, if neon pink didn't exist, it would be a sad world. So neon pink for that one. Anyways, thank you for asking questions, everybody, and maybe some more people should definitely more people jump in with some questions. Get your questions down below to be featured in the next episode 3 of the podcast. But honestly, get your questions down there. Ask me whatever, Transformer stuff, my likes, everything. Just ask me away, and that'd be so cool, and get you featured. And I like this little part of the channel. Helps fill up some time too, but gets me talking about things I wouldn't really regularly talk about. I want to hear from you guys and answer. And yeah, thanks for being here, and yeah, love you all, and let's continue with the podcast. Alright, let's talk about some Transformers news and discussions, y'all. So yeah, Transformers War for Cybertron Siege. I'm really looking forward to these new figures coming out, some of them in August. I just can't wait. I'm so stoked. I'm not as so stoked on the Omega Supreme. I never was a big Omega Supreme fan. I would like the G1 one day, maybe boxed, but having it set out and stuff, it's just, I don't like it really. I'm not a big Omega Supreme fan. If you're mad at that, I'm sorry, but I still think it's a great figure. It looks pretty cool, and if the track was bigger on it, it would look a little more like the original, or just better, but maybe they'll have a custom kit come out for it. But yeah, not sold on the Omega Supreme. If I could get it on clearance eventually or something like that, I would pick it up. Now, Commander Jetfire, on the other hand, I really want this commander. New commander class is Jetfire, baby. Starscream's buddy, also known as Skyfire, and blah, 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 legal stuff. But yeah, this Commander Jetfire, I'm digging the size. I'm seeing some people get it now on Instagram, and it's popping up. But yeah, this figure looks really cool. I know they have those not official masterpiece figures of them, but I really like this one. This one I will be getting. yeah, the transformation looks cool. You can have in all those different modes, like the original mode, like the actual toy line it came from mode, and just the classic animation mode. You can have lots of weapons. It's just really cool. It's just really out there, cool. And a new class, commander class, so we'll see what that's all about. I think what I've seen on the packaging so far, it's not clear or anything. Maybe it has a tab you can open, but it just shows what I've seen so far is just, it's all like the front of the box is just all artwork, and pretty cool siege artwork, very G1 reminiscent of the toy era. And yeah, this figure, like when I look at it and see that when it's in that mode to look like the animation, it looks so much like the animation, both modes, like the plane mode plus the robot mode. It's awesome. It's pretty big. It overscales that new Optimus I got by quite a bit. Like, it is really cool. Hopefully have someone and their eyes on this at the Toys R Us. Yeah, Toys R Us is still open in Canada. I'll get to that later. And I not heard they're opening again in the States. But yeah, I need some people's eyes out for these classes for me for sure. And I'll jump on that and do a video on it and love it and hold them and kiss them and just enjoy him for what he is. He looks fantastic. Like, there's never been a figure. I mean, though, there's that Generations one, but this one, just how close to the animation it really looks is fantastic. Like, are you kidding me, boy? Yeah, so the original toy is from Macross and Robotech. The original toy was just, repainted. There's a huge lawsuit over it and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I'm not as big of a fan of the original toy because, to me, yeah, it makes sense now, not knowing as a kid. I never knew it was from Robotech or Macross or anything like that. But, looking back, I always wondered, like, why did I think it didn't really look like a Transformer? Well, now I know. But that can't be said for everything. Shockwave kind of does look like a Transformer, but he's from a different thing. And there's a few things, obviously, like that. But yeah, it just kind of makes more sense. But the new one, I'll be all over that. And yeah, I'm really excited. That will be super cool. And yeah, the one I'm most probably stoked for that's coming out in stores, the regular releases, is the Springer. Now, I've seen a whole bunch of reviews on it already. Some people saying like the feet joints, like the ball joints on the feet, can come loose, or they just don't make them stand very well. A few toys have had that, so hopefully the ones you get and I get will not have that issue. But hey, it's a small issue, but that does suck. You do want him to stand up straight like the soldier he is, mate. But I've always been a huge Springer fan. Those fan toy Springers look awesome too. And like I said, I'm not into that yet, fans toys or anything. And I hope Takara and Hasbro come out with their own masterpiece Springer down the road. But I always liked Springer. He was the Han Solo type, handsome type as well. He got all the girls gushing. But he is cool. He's just like, he's kind of like a renegade, and like and he already comes in a Cybertronian mode, and this is War for Cybertron, so it kind of made sense to make him in this in his original style, because like, yeah, he turns into Cybertronian car and helicopter, so it's perfect. And yeah, he just looks really cool. The colors, the green, the pop. Yeah, I'm sold on this figure. He is the one I want the most. I'm just really like him. I know that some people said like getting him into the transformations for the robot mode are a little more difficult, but getting him into car and helicopter isn't that bad. But it shouldn't be too bad. I've seen a few videos on him now, and he looks really cool. Like the green, yeah, I don't know. I really want him, You got to check him out. Springer, he's from the 1986 original Transformers cartoon movie. He's along with Ultra Magnus, Blur, and Hot Rod, of course. RC and the gang. But yeah, this figure, there is that Generations figure. I know people love the Generations Springer. And he is a bit bigger, and yeah, probably made out of better plastic. But he's just more rounded off edges. This Springer, he always was kind of more cube and had edges like in the original cartoon. And this figure really looks, there's a few differences if you want to nitpick it on some of the placements on the things, but hey, it's fantastic. He looks great. I am so stoked to get this Springer and spring into action with him. But yeah, these figures are looking great. This is a great line. Like, I know the plastics are a bit cheaper. I know some people don't like the battle damage, but for the most part, these figures are coming out pretty good, and this Springer looks like one of the best figures in the bunch, the one I've been hyped for the most. So I hope to find him at a Walmart or something like that very soon, and I'll do a video on that on the channel as well, a little review. And the next figure I want from this Transformers Cybertron Siege line that's from the regular releases is Refractor, aka Reflector in the original show. Trademark must have ran out, but I do like Refractor. You have to buy 3 of them, just like the original G1 toy. They came all together. It was a mail away special offer, so you couldn't buy him in stores, but the original G1 figure. They all came together, but with 3 little robots who all looked kind of different. In the TV show Reflector, in the G1 TV show, he all looked the same, but he was one robot. He either projected himself as like kind of hologram type things that actually could hit people and stuff. So he was like 3 little robots in one, which I really like because they all talked at the same time, like, and their voices, like, you know, it's all the same voice kind of talking at the same time, but 3 different voices. And as a kid, I thought he had so much character. I was like, how did they even come up with this stuff? Like, as a kid, I would like reminisce on, you know, Grimlock, Reflector, the whole bunch. Everyone has so much personality and style, and yeah, you have to buy 3 of these figures sold individually this time for this release, and yeah, you can put all 3 of them together to make a camera. So hopefully we'll be able to track these guys down in the stores, and there'll be enough for us to get, because oh my goodness, if everyone's out there trying to get 3 maybe even 6, you know, keep some in a sealed thing. I don't know. I'm gonna be out there wanting them though. This is the one figure too. This in the Springer, I was like, oh, these look great, and they do. I've seen some reviews, and they actually look pretty decent, purple and all that. So I really always loved the colors as a kid as well, and they did a fantastic job here with Reflector. And yeah, like all the rest of the figures I talked about from this new line. I know this isn't new news for everyone, but I wanted to give a little bit of what I thought about these figures coming out, because I'm going to be reviewing them on the channel, and I love collecting them. And yeah, there's some, like I said, the Springer and Reflector, whatever you want to call it. I'm really stoked on those. And of course the Jetfire down the road as well. Not sure what the price point now on the Jetfire is, but out of those main lines coming to a Walmart or Toys R Us if you're in Canada, or Walgreens if you're in America, mate, or wherever these wherever these Transformers are coming. I hope you can pick them up and yeah, enjoy them. So I talk about another Transformer coming out, but it is one of those Generation Select, so we'll get into that now. Hey, so now we'll talk about Transformers Generation Selects War for Cybertron Red Wing. He's a Red Seeker. Yeah, he's part of that Generation Select line. They've already done the white and green Megatron that came out. I do have a review of that on the channel. I will be picking this figure up as well, as I do like these Select figures, and I like the, you know, this is a guy who's not even in the fiction, and yeah, he's got a toy now. So now he's on the Transformers wiki and everything. So that's really cool to see. Yeah, my friend that's in Vancouver was actually around Transformers stuff, and actually stuff like this, collector shops and stuff. He said he could track down some of these for us, and yeah, I'll send them money and have this figure as well to review on the channel. So I'd really like to get him. He's cool. I love Seekers. I love how he comes in his Tetrajet mode. He comes in that brown box like I showed before, just the standard Autobot box. I remember standard Transformers box like that says War on it in Cybertronian that I showed off when I reviewed my Transformers Generation Select Megatron. But yeah, this Red Seeker looks fantastic. It says right here, he's the reddest Decepticon Seeker in all of the land. Finally gets a release, even though he's not even part of the fiction. But yeah, he looks great. Of course, he definitely reminds me of Thrust, you know, the red Conehead. Except this guy's not a Conehead. That'd be cool to see some Coneheads like this as well, but I don't know if we will, but hopefully we'll see some more Coneheads out there as well. But yeah, this guy's red. He's really red, like, woof. I love the red on him. Maybe we'll do some more guys like that. It would be really cool to have him with Starscream and Thundercracker and Skywarp as the Tetrajets. And yeah, I'm a fan of that transformation. There is a little piece that always falls off of the guy, so you gotta be careful with this figure, but I like my Starscream. I have it right here on my desk. Looking at him right now. You know, he's got the cool little high heel shoes, and the head sculpt on him is great. And I don't mind the damage on this guy. I really like this Starscream figure. It's way better than some of the other Starscream figures I saw in Powers of the Prime and stuff. Some of those are just atrocious, but this guy, he does the part. He looks G1. Yeah, he's got the nice little smirk on Red Wing, and yeah, black. He's got the black plastic, and the red, and yeah, the orange little part for the cockpit. And yeah, he's just really cool. It says he's $44.99, expected to be in stock sometime July or sooner. So yeah, but this is on collectiontoys.com. Not sure where else to get them, but yeah, I really want this figure. Hopefully friend can track one down sooner than later once they come out, of course, and then I can review it. But yeah, I love collecting for this Siege line. They've done a great thing with the Siege line. Like, the figures just look the part. You know, if they were if figures were made like this 10 years ago, like with when they actually used a lot of plastic and stuff, that would have been like the best Transformers ever. But I guess we had to wait it out. But now we do have the anything they do that looks G1 is gonna sell, and anything that looks this G1 is gonna get the real Transformer fans loving it. And it's so good. It introduces this stuff to a younger generation, and that's what it's all about. Just loving this stuff, and yeah, collecting, and yeah, just sharing your passion for the collection, loving your figures, and yeah, just seeing what new stuff comes out and talking about it. That's why I love this podcast. I get to talk about Transformer stuff. I get to talk about trans stuff, VHSs. What else, What else you want? Some gaming stuff, of course. Lots of stuff. That's why I'm having such a blast doing this. Hope this episode turns out as well as the other one. And yeah, like I said, I'd like to keep this on a weekly podcast. So when I get a little healthier and have more energy, we'll set a day, a Friday or Saturday. Set a date for this podcast to come out on a Friday or Saturday. And yeah, but yeah, Generation Select, I'm so looking forward to this guy. I'm excited to see what else they want to make, what other kind of selects they're going to be doing. And yeah, this mold, I bet you will be getting a lot of recolors. Of course, they're going to do Thundercracker, Skywarp, and who knows who else. But fantastic figure. Looking very forward to getting my little flippers on them, and yeah, get into a few more topics here. And yes, thanks for listening. All right, now it's time for the VHS and Memory special on the podcast. The Terminator, 1984, fantasy sci-fi film. I love the first Terminator. I'll give you a little bit of the synopsis from Google. Just easy that way to formulate what the movie's about, then I'll get into the discussion. So, disguised as a human, a cyborg assassin known as a Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger travels back from 2029 to 1984 to kill Sarah Connor, Linda Hamilton. Sent to protect Sarah is Kyle Reese, Michael Biehn, who divulges the coming of Skynet, an artificial intelligence system that will spark a nuclear holocaust. Sarah is a target because Skynet knows that her unborn son will lead the first fight against them. The virtually unstoppable Terminator in hot pursuit, she and Kyle attempt to escape. So yeah, that movie came out 2 years before I was born, 1984, The Terminator. I love this first Terminator. I love the second Terminator. I just watched the second Terminator with my sister a little while ago, and it's a great movie. It's a great second movie. It's a great blockbuster movie, with all the action, with some of the new 3D or some of the new computer graphics in the movie used for the T-1000, the Liquid Terminator. It's cool how they sent a Terminator back that was good to protect Kyle. And yeah, it's a really interesting movie. The second movie, it's just like full of so much action, so much explosions, so many guns, so many weapons. It's like over the top. It's like, more an action movie first and foremost, and it's more of like the kid and the Terminator. Like the Terminator kind of turns out like his dad or whatever, right? So it's, the kid thinks the Terminator is kind of like a father figure because it's trying to protect him, and he's never had a stable, cool father figure in his life, and the Terminator is cool. But yeah, that's Terminator 2. It's a blast. It's, of course, this is all filmed by James Cameron, the Titanic master, the Avatarian descent. But yeah, James Cameron is a huge producer, director, He's, I wasn't the biggest fan of Avatar. I thought, when I saw it in the theater, it amazed me how it looked, but I just found the story wasn't deep enough for me. But who knows, with the 19 Avatar movies coming out, maybe we get into it. But yeah, Terminator 1, let's get into it. Kyle Reese style, baby. It's really interesting in this movie when they send the Terminator back, he arrives in town, and electricity shooting everywhere, and he's using a time machine, obviously, and he's sent through time, and yeah, he's naked because, you can't really send mechanical things back. The Terminator can come back because he's mechanical on the inside and he has the skin around him, right? So they can send him back. But yeah, the Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger, you see him just appear there with the electricity, and he's naked, and he sees these punks at the beginning, and they have a telescope. It's like, damn, today's kids playing with telescopes and science. But the Terminator rolls up on these guys, and they freaked me out as a kid. They did look like real punks, but now they just look like some goth out guys or heavy metal guys or whatever, and they have a telescope. It's like, I know they're probably spying on people or something, but still, it's funny. And the Terminator rolls up on them. They're like, they can't believe he's naked. They're like, wash day, nothing clean. And the Terminator just repeats, wash day, nothing clean, or whatever. He just he just tells them, I think, give me your clothes. I think they just pull out knives, and he just shoves his hand right through the guy, killing him. And it's just like the Terminator takes these punk guys' clothes. He's in these punk guys' clothes for the rest of the movie. And it's just a crazy movie. I love it so much. The action scenes, Arnold does a great job in this. He always has. And it's a huge movie. Terminator, he got so famous from this movie. And yeah, it's just so many cool action scenes, at the beginning when he's hunting her down, trying to find her. He's killing other Sarah Connors, looking through the phone book to kill every Sarah Connor he can to annihilate them all. And yeah, he's just they think it's just a murder, like a serial book killer. And, they're joking about it. But, it's just crazy. No one believes them. They send Kyle back, and Kyle has to track down Sarah, and he's telling her all this stuff about how the Terminator sent from the future. She doesn't know if he's crazy or what to believe, and they ended up Terminator's chasing them at one point, and they end up after the club scene they end up hiding in a car, and the police all catch them at the end and see the Terminator, but he gets away. Car blows up, they can't find him. They're like, what? And then they take Reese, put him under arrest basically, and they're interrogating him, and the one doctor's telling Sarah that he's just all crazy, he's full of it, this is all a lie. And he's like, one of the other cops, sergeants, I think, he gives her a blanket, puts her on a little couch, and tells her to rest. And they're not on guard or anything. They think Reese is a maniac. They may think Reese is a schizo. And this is also a heavy romance movie. That's what I like about it. That's what I'm saying about number 2. Number 2 is a great movie, but this movie at the end of the day just holds out as a better movie. It's stronger. It's a real movie. There's such romance. I remember as a kid, I liked the romance in this movie. It was one of the movies I was like, I like that romance. Even though I didn't think Reese is a cool guy. I'm not into Reese or Sarah or anything, but I like just the character dynamic of their romance was really cute. And yeah, he loves her right away, basically. And she thinks he's crazy, but I bet she thinks he's pretty hot. But they're in the police station, and let me get back to that. And they're in the police station, and they're not on guard. And then, yeah, the Terminator rolls up, with all his weapons that he went to a weapon store, or whatever they're called, and picked up some weapons earlier and killed the guy there and headed out to kill Sarah Connor. But yeah, he rolls up with a shotgun, a couple machine guns, I think, or whatever, and he's just blowing away people at the police station. He rolls up. Well, first he just rolls up casually, and he delivers that line that's so classic, because he asks to see Sarah, and they're like, no, you're not allowed to. She's in an investigation. He's like, I'll be back, right? The classic, I'll be back. And then he drives a car right into the front of the police station and kills that guy. And then, yeah, he's just a rampage. Cops are firing at him, shooting him in his back. He's eating bullets, but he's just spraying on these people or whatever, just and they can't believe it. I remember the sergeant goes and tells Sarah to hide somewhere, and of course, Reese gets out. He knocks someone out and grabs the key, and it's just a mad shooting in this place. I love the action in this movie. This action is raw. This action is real. This action is impactful. This action, they don't even make action movies like this anymore. I remember loving this as a kid. I remember screaming and imitating, and oh my god, I just loved it. I thought it was the dopest thing ever. I was like, yes, I love guns. I love shooting. I love robots. I love time travel, Terminators. Yeah, he's just massacring everyone in that station. And of course, Reese, he tracks down Sarah, finds Sarah, and they do escape or whatever. And, they get out on the road in a car, and they escape or whatever, and they drive till the car runs out of gas. And the Terminator, like, he almost catches them, shooting at them as they drive away type of thing. But, he just wasn't quick enough, couldn't find them in time. But it's cool, now they're back together, and they end up some grungy hotel, and Reese teaches her to make like some type of explosion, like TNT type things, or whatever he calls them, I can't remember right now. But yeah, he makes like basically little bombs for her, sticks of dynamite type of stuff, and yeah, he shows her how to do that. He's wounded, she cleans him up. That's kind of romantic. They talk about like, what's the world like, or what's my son like, and they kind of start falling for each other a little more. And before that, their car runs out of gas, I forgot, and they do all that under a bridge, and then they go to the hotel or whatever, and he makes those bombs with her. And then Terminator tracks down her mom and kills her mom, and then Terminator can use his voice to sound like a woman. Lucky Terminator. But no, Terminator can change his voice to sound like anyone because he's just a cyborg robot. Who knows not? But yeah, so he calls up Sarah and he's like, "Where are you, honey?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm here." I think he finds out what hotel she's at or whatever, because she talks to her mom. She thinks it's her mom, but her mom's dead. Terminator destroyed her, and just using her phone and her voice. But yeah, so then the Terminator knows where they're at, and he starts making his way at them, and they ended up seeing him before he gets there, and they sneak out the back. And then there's a huge chase scene. They're in a car, and then Terminator gets on a motorbike, and they're shooting at him, throwing those explosives at him. This is where the movie really picks up. I love the beginning when the Terminator's like looking for her, and she's at the club. She doesn't meet Reese yet. That part's really good. And yeah, I really like that part. And then the part when they're investigating the police station, pretty good. And then, of course, the battle scene at the police station is fantastic. But this ending, too, like this chase sequence, like just how they filmed it, and how practical all these effects are and everything is awesome. Like, they're just, like, ripping down the road. Like, I remember just loving this and thinking, like, oh, man, there's so many good more movies will come out in Terminator. But I only like the first two Terminators, 3. No, none of the others. I mean, the one with Batman, Christian Bale, was pretty good, but no, it wasn't pretty good. I just like the robots in it when you can see them, but there's parts of it that are okay, but nothing compared to these first two movies. These first two movies are just a work of art, and they're both spectacular in different ways, but so spectacular in both of those ways. Like, the first Terminator is such a grounded movie, even though it deals with like time travel and stuff. It's just, yeah, and how gory it was, and like how much blood and shooting it was, and how much swearing and stuff. Like, you loved it as a kid. This is like the type of movie you wanted to watch as a kid, and it would get you hyped and on playing, and hyped on imagination, because you thought about like time travel and robots, and opened your mind to all this stuff. So that was pretty cool as well. And it was for one of the first more serious movies I've ever seen that dealt with these topics. But yeah, they're on the chase scene, and they're like a truck of some sort, I think, and they're just trying to get away. He's on a motorbike. I remember he like ends up crashing or something, and Terminator gets into a semi, just like in Terminator 2 when the T-1000 gets in a semi and is chasing him. But in this one, yeah, he gets in the semi, he's chasing them down. And yeah, it's like a tanker with oil, I think, or something. And they're chasing them down, and it's pretty intense, the chase down. This is a great chase scene. And then, of course, they all crash, and the thing blows up. And they actually think the Terminator is dead. Reese is injured. I think he got shot. So he's a little injured for sure, and she's trying to get him out of the truck, like, before the car blows up. They crash or something. Their truck is flipped, and she gets out, and she's trying to get Reese out. And then, yeah, that tanker thing blowing up the Terminator, and they kind of get away. And there's kind of happy music for a moment. You think that it's all over, or maybe the Terminator's actually dead, like, for real. Like, because how could he live through that? It shows him burning. Like, it shows the Terminator's skin burning up, and he's in the fire. And, like, it looks like he's just melting, because that's just all the cyborg skin that he has. He just totally looks like he's melting. So, yeah, then you think that they're, like, holding each other. I think they're kissing, like, yeah, it's over, maybe. Like, we would have like, who could survive that? And then this is the part of the movie that, like, I thought the movie was pretty good as a kid. Like I was saying, I loved it. I thought the action was great. I thought the chase sequence were great. I liked the romance even. I was like, okay, this movie is pretty darn good. Like, I'm really enjoying this. And then the moment that this happens, I can't even. This is one of the best moments in cinematic history. Like, for me, like, there's so many more moments, but this was so much, like, this one part, like, I just couldn't believe it. Like, you just see the garbage moving, or like everything's on fire, and you just see like the pieces of the broken truck everywhere, and you just see this pile of junk and metal, and then you see it move slightly, and then a full skeleton of the Terminator comes out. It's full robot mode. Like, these guys look like skeletons, like people, but they're just armored out. Yeah, the original Terminator, they're just like a skeleton, so roboed out and armored up, and they're just so cool. He starts pushing out of the garbage, and it's just like, you just see him, and he's like moving, and his eyes are red, and he's just like, how he moves is so cool and fluent. And yeah, however they did this stop motion animation type stuff is one of the best. I remember freaking out. I remember like loving this Terminator. I'm still in love with this Terminator. I think the Terminator definitely is the hottest character in the whole movie. Like, the robot, I would have married that robot. But so the robot, like, they start running, and now, like, I think from the truck or something, the Terminator actually like broke part of his leg, and you can see that its left leg or something is dragging, so it kind of is walking with a limp, which even makes it creepier. And they're like running into this building, and it's chasing them down this hallway with this limp, and it's just so cool seeing this robot. Like, it's so good, this robot. Like, I can't tell you how good this robot is. I can't, like, explain it. It's just, like, especially seeing it at that young age, like, I didn't know how they did it. And it looks so real because it's not, like, computer graphics or anything. It's, like, miniatures or whatever. And this robot, and probably, like, robotics, like, on set and stop animation or whatever they did. But this robot is... And then, like, they shut this door on the robot and start smashing its head through and its arm, and it's it's banging its head against this like metal, and it's they're trying to get away. And Reese is like, they're in this kind of like industrial setting with like lots of like robots that look like they make cars and stuff. It's like a factory, and Reese starts turning on all the switches trying to confuse the Terminator as it comes in. But yeah, the Terminator smashes through that door, and it's just like, yeah, they have to run away from it, and it's like limping after them, and it's just a great chase scene, and the robot looks so good. And Reese uses one of those bombs. Like, he tells her to run, and she runs, and he kind of has a standoff with the robot, hitting it in the head a few times with like a metal pole, and which is pretty awesome. You see its like neck bend all the way, but it's just taking it. It just takes like this metal shots the face like nothing, and you're just loving this robot's reaction. And then the robot has like hips, like like where its hips are has like holes in them, and he places, like, as the robot backhands him, it just smacks him. It just doesn't even punch him or anything. It just backhands this guy like nothing. And it's like probably like broke every bone in this guy's face, because these robots are so strong, and it's a swipe. It's not like just a little slap. It's like the backhand of your life, So he backhands backhands Reese. Reese falls down a flight of steps, already shot, already injured, and then the bomb goes off, and the robot looks at it and tries to grab it or whatever, but it's too slow, the robot, and it blows up. Awesome scene, and just like, now, like, it blows up, and like, I think she runs up to Reese to check on him. But now I think he's basically just dead after this. She turns him over, and his face is all bloody. Like, he probably got his brain rattled by that slap. So he's dead, and she's not even sure if the robot's dead. But she's distracted by how much Reese is dead. And yeah, when they're in that cabin, did I not mention that? Oops. But yeah, when they're in that cabin, they actually did hook up. They had sex. Kyle Reese is the father of Sarah's kid. And yeah, as a kid, it was pretty hot between them. You liked it. You're like, oh wow, this is romantic. But yeah, she's like really hurt. She's like, oh, Reese. And then like the Terminator, like, it's blown up. It doesn't have its legs. It doesn't have one arm, and it's like crawling at her with one arm. And she's like, so it's freaking out. So I think there's like in a closed area type thing. So she starts like, kind of scurrying away, and she gets on like this conveyor belt, and she like, ends up crawling through this part that's like a compressor or whatever to flatten things. And so she like crawls onto that, just as the Terminator's crawling after her, it's like inches away from, like, it's probably just trying to strangle her or something. I think it is, and it's trying to like just grab her with the one hand it has, but it's right in the middle of the compressor, and it's like grabbing for her face, and she's just luckily to have the buttons near her, and she squishes that guy. Like, she just presses it, the conveyor belt comes down, and she just squishes that Terminator till he's flatter than the pancakes you had for breakfast, boy. But but yeah, she flattens the Terminator. He's terminated. She says, "Terminated, mother effer," or whatever, right? But so he's totally terminated. The lights, the red eyes, the red light in its eyes fade away, and the Terminator is dead. Oops, hold on. Call. So yeah, now the Terminator is totally terminated. But this movie, it's just, that whole scene, like, I would watch the movie at points just for that scene, just for that ending, because, like, the build-up and the payoff and everything for that ending of that movie is so good. Like, it's fantastic. That animation, how they did that robot, like, because in the second one, you only see those full skeleton robots at the beginning of the movie when they show the future, or, so you get to see some of those robots for a quick second, but you only see that T-1000, who's mostly a liquid guy who looks kind of like a 90s mannequin or whatever, but napkins with mannequins. but but yeah, so it's just, that whole ending is so over the top, so cool. This movie gets me so hyped. One of the best time travel movies, one of the best like cyborg robot movies, one of the best action movies from the 80s, probably. In some ways, like, realistic and blood, and I don't know, there's just so many good parts to this movie, and Arnold did a fantastic job, and yeah, one of my childhood favorite movies of all time, The Terminator. Can't get enough. I just watched number 2 with my sister. We'll watch these again someday, but yeah, I don't know what else to say right now about it, but I hope I expressed my feelings enough for each part and everything I love about it: the action, the hardcoreness, the babiness of the 80s. Miss the hardcore days when people could take a joke, people could take a killing, and all that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this VHS and memories, and we'll move on to the next thing. Well, thanks again for listening to the new podcast. Gonna cut this one a little short, as this was a really rough week. This is the second day that I've been totally off my antidepressants that I took for like a year and a bit, so yeah, I'm not feeling 100% putting this together, and I just gotta work on other things, and I got a long day at work tomorrow. It's like, oh my goodness, where does the time go? Where does it all end? But, I'm really enjoying this format. I'm really enjoying talking about all these topics. I think this will be good for the channel and liven it up a bit. And, I've heard quite a bit of positive things from other people about the podcast, and yeah, I'm really enjoying this format. I want to do more, and yeah, more VHSs and more Transformers news next week, and a few other topics planned. Get those questions in, like I said. Shoot me a few questions. I want to see some questions in there for sure, and comment on this podcast. And yeah, thanks for being here. Thank you for supporting me as always. It means the world to me. Yeah, I want to keep growing this YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. There'll be more weekly content now, and more Transformers reviews. We'll bring back some gaming stuff. We have the VHS stuff popping again in this VHS format, Transformers news, lots of stuff planned for the year. And yeah, I'm just happy to be here, happy to be doing this, happy to get my mental health and actual health together. If I'm doing all this right now and, no patting myself in the back, it's not like extremely, it's just time consuming, this stuff. It's not like work, right? But, at work, I'm working and trying to hold on mentally. And, when people are rude to you from the odd person that's rude to me for being trans while I'm working and stressed out and coming off these meds, but trying to hold it all together. I'm trying to be a soldier, a G unit soldier. Didn't 50 Cent just call all the G unit out the other day? I'm not even kidding you, but you should go look that up. That's been a good topic, but but yeah, I'm just trying to be a soldier. I just want to soldier through, get my health up, get my physical health up, lose a few pounds, and go to do more nerdy stuff, collect more, unbox more Transformers, share with you my experiences, maybe get some traveling, like I said, hit up some cons, and just keep expanding. I did talk to my one homie that's going to help me with some new images and stuff for the channel, and we'll get some merch popping off, and yeah, we'll see how it all goes. But thank you for being here. Leave your comments down below. And yeah, thanks for supporting this podcast. It's awesome. This will be weekly. I know this. I'd like to get these out on Friday or Saturday. This one's probably going to be out on Sunday, my time, Pacific time, Standard Time, Pacific Ocean time. But yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks to the ramble. Let's get excited to live our lives.